We had a nightmare experience on our connecting flight from Atlanta to Orlando with an unruly kid and an inattentive flight attendant. We contacted Delta's top brass via email, and they handled the problem in a very professional manner, and we're pleased. Well, initially on our originating flight, we showed up at the airport in Springfield, Missouri at 4 a.m. You're supposed to be there 3 hours before departure. Delta was closed. Their ticketing counter was closed. My wife went around various parts of the airport looking for a representative, and finally someone said that they were in a some sort of a meeting, their morning meeting, and that they were kind of surprised because somebody's supposed to be there at 4 o'clock and it was 4:30 by the time someone showed up. And so the day didn't start off very well to begin with. The origination flight went off without a hitch after that. There was no problem. The connecting flight from Atlanta to Orlando was an absolute nightmare. We had a very inattentive flight attendant. We placed a drink order with her. She basically ignored us after that. We had a screaming, and I don't mean, just whining or sniveling or anything like that. This was an actual screaming 3-year-old in the seat directly across from us. She was basically throwing temper tantrums. Anytime the pilot would make an announcement, naturally it would interrupt the whatever you're listening to on the headphones or on the entertainment system, and she would immediately start screaming because her program was cut off. We've been treated better in coach than we were in first class this time. We wrote to Delta and asked them what was going on. We said this, we've had problems with Delta in the past, but this was way above and beyond anything we had experienced beforehand. And when we finally heard from them, it took us 2 emails to actually get a response from Delta. They told us that they were investigating the incident, and it took them about 2 weeks to get back with us, and I ended up getting a response yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they requested that I call one of their executive customer service reps who answer directly to the top brass. And of course she apologized for the incident, but they are also going to pay for our ticket. I'm assuming it's just for the connecting flight, not the origination flight, since we didn't really have a problem. She also made sure that I understood that the flight attendant was remiss in her duties for not trying to calm that kid down. She said the flight crew has the ability and the responsibility to handle incidents like that, especially in first class. And there have been incidents, you've seen on the news, there's been incidents where kids have gotten so unruly that they've landed the plane and kicked the parents off. But that was not the case here. And matter of fact, that the mother that was traveling with the child was receiving preferential treatment from the flight attendant, and she ignored us, and she didn't really seem to be too interested in anyone else in first class either, for that matter, but that's up for them to complain if they felt they had been slighted. But really, long story short, Delta did come through in responding to us. My biggest concern, and this is probably true of any airline, not just Delta, when you pay extra for first class, I truly feel that there shouldn't be kids below a certain age, say below 10 years old or 12 years old, in first class to begin with. Part of what you are paying for is, besides the comfort and the extra attention and food, is a little peace and quiet. And we certainly did not have that. And when I had questioned the representative yesterday, she stated that Delta has no policy regarding children. Basically, if someone pays for the seat, anybody can sit there. All in all, we were pleased with the response that we got from Delta, even though it took a couple of weeks. And we, the way we initiated things was I did a Google search for the Delta CEO email address, and I did find several sites that you could get that information from, and there was one in particular, which I can't think of off the top of my head, that had several of the top brass emails in there. So I just did one email and included all of them on it. And I truly believe that that was how we were able to get the situation resolved, by going outside the normal customer service, contact us on the website type of procedure. So, but yeah, we were very pleased with how things went. And obviously you can't undo what happened, but I think Delta really did make their best effort to right the situation and compensate.